Welcome back to another exciting episode of SCADAfence TV. I'm your host, Gary Malefsky, and I'm the publisher of SCADAfence magazine. Sitting in my hot seat today is a very special guest, Elad Ben-Meir, who is the CEO of a very, very important cybersecurity company, SCADAfence.
How you doing?
Elad, welcome. Tell us what you do and how you do it.
SCADAfence protects industrial networks by listening into traffic between devices on the network, and firstly identifying the devices that exist on the network, but also identifying any indicators of compromise and other indicators of attack along the cyber kill chain.
Where are you headquartered?
In Tel Aviv.
Okay. And do you have offices in the U.S.?
Yes, we do.
Are you making appliances? Is it virtual machines? Is it cloud? How does it work? Because don't I have to eavesdrop on the network traffic to get the MAC addresses and everything?
That's a very good question. So it's a mixture. So it's a software platform. Mm-hmm. So we install it on-prem. It can communicate with the cloud or be fully on-prem. It's that easy.
It's that easy. Yeah. Here's the thing. Years ago, Target, the store in America, very popular retailer, they had a breach where their network got hacked through the air conditioning system. You know about the HVAC. Tell us how you would have stopped that breach.
It's interesting because one of the problems with that breach is that in the aftermath, when they looked at what happened, they actually saw an indication that someone has breached the network. But they were so busy with other things and understaffed that they couldn't do anything about it. They didn't pick it up in real time. But basically what we do is we look at OT networks, so operational technology networks. Mm-hmm. Basically, they work differently than IT. They have PLCs and HMIs and other things that would sound
like a steel manufacturer, or a nuclear facility,
oil and gas
Amtrak
refinery.
Trains that are needed to switch tracks.
Exactly.
So the PLC might say time to switch tracks, and it's got a clock and a calendar, and it now has an IP address.
Exactly.
And we don't want two trains heading at each other.
Nope. And it's not just that. I mean, even in these buildings, we have the lights and HVAC, as you mentioned, access control, and a variety of other things, IoT devices that communicate and that are not managed and are protected.
What about a refrigerator in a hospital that's used to fill for a blood bank?
Definitely, yeah.
If someone shut off that refrigerator, lives would be in jeopardy.
No, we have a few hospitals as our clients.
This is amazing. Yeah. So SCADAfence, you guys are keeping an eye on operational technology areas, not informational technology, but aren't they merging? What's the difference between IT and OT?
Those are like three questions in one. So
let's do them all.
So they are merging. There's definitely a connection between IT and OT today. Mm-hmm. And that has been happening over the last 5 to 10 years. We call it the digitalization of OT networks. Mm-hmm. And basically what that means is that OT networks used to be once air-gapped from the world, are now connected to IT and to the World Wide Web, and are adopting IoT devices at a very quick pace. And what that actually means is that they're more exposed to risks because their attack surface is bigger, they're connected to the internet. And if you think about these legacy networks, they're basically haven't changed from 20 years ago. They still run Windows XP on some machines and Windows Server 2000, basically unpatchable devices that you can't really secure in a way that we do so in IT.
Sounds like the bank ATM machines in Russia and maybe in the U.S. Remember Carbonac?
Yeah.
All the machines were spitting out rubles like crazy. Yeah. So you would even protect old equipment that's used for banking.
So basically, we listen to the network. So every attacker, every adversary would leave a strain, will leave indications along the way, and we'll find them on the network communications and the variety of communication patterns between the devices.
Indicators of compromise, IOCs, are, hey, why is this ATM machine, or why is this critical infrastructure, whatever it is, or why is this blood bank, LG refrigerator connecting to a server far away in another country and having its temperature changed, or having the switch move from right to left, or having the rods pull out of the reactor when they have to stay in the reactor. You pick up those kinds of indicators of compromise.
So you gave some doomsday scenarios where it's going to be fatal and kill people. There's far easier scenarios like ransomware attacks that we're pretty used to from IT, but now have moved into OT and cause far more havoc.
Ransomware and OT?
Ransomware and OT. Think about it. If you have a workstation that's managing a PLC or an HMI that runs on a PC that runs Windows XP, mm-hmm. Those are very vulnerable to ransomware attacks. And we see this happening every day with our customers, with our prospects, but with things that hit the news as well. So we saw Norsk Hydro, which is an aluminium manufacturer out of the Nordics, mm-hmm. got hit by a ransomware attack. They were down for about 2 weeks. They lost about $50 million in that event. And what we hear in the news is just the top of the iceberg. There's about 90% of the events that you don't really hear in the news. And attackers go for those infrastructures because they're easy, they're unprotected. And the damage there, the money damage that can happen there is substantially higher than in IT.
Can anyone afford SCADAfence?
Anyone can afford SCADAfence.
Who's your key, like 3 or 4 verticals you'd say are your favorite that are buying?
The manufacturers are investing a lot, both process and discrete, oil and gas, power, both distribution and manufacturing. And BMS is starting to pick up now in terms of critical infrastructure. But BMS operators, so people that operate smart buildings, hospitals, jails, airports, things like that.
Would you say that is it available as a proof of concept? Is it quickly deployed where I can try it and then I buy it? Or is it you've got to just buy it?
Well, it's enterprise sales at the end of the day. People want to try it, POC it, have certain criteria in which they want to test it. What we do is we provide our customers the flexibility to choose how they want to do that. So essentially the easiest way of testing the product is recording the traffic of the network using a pickup file, Wireshark recording, and then moving that into one of our platforms. And then basically what we do is we do a demo with live data of the customers. So that they see their actual assets, they see the actual weaknesses.
That's fantastic.
It really helps bring the proof to the
bring it to light.
Exactly.
So when you find an area of weakness, they say, I can't live without SCADAfence.
It's usually the case. And it's fascinating because there's such a gap between what our customers think that they have in place to what is actually happening in reality in terms of number of devices they think they have on the network. They say we have 1,000 devices on this network, and
you find 1,400 or more.
Yeah, even more. So the gap is quite substantial in terms of percentage, and aside from that, also the segmentation. So first basic rule is if you can't patch and install antiviruses and agents, at least segment so the attacker can't propagate. So when you ask a customer before you deploy the tool, are you properly segmented? And they said, yes, site-to-site segmentation.
Yeah, like the Boeing 777, where the ailerons could be moved from the passenger cabin when a guy stuck a thing into the USB.
Exactly.
Because they didn't bifurcate controlling the airplane, right, OT, from the entertainment center, IT.
Exactly.
And you help solve that
Exactly.
problem. This is awesome. Great interview. You made it through my hot seat. Where are we sending our viewers? SCADAfence.com?
SCADAfence.com.
Okay. Folks, this was an awesome hot seat. If you're doing OT and IT, if you're worried about critical infrastructure, it sounds like we have a really rapidly deployed solution. And you're going to find things that people usually don't know they have. If you don't know how big your network is and what windows and doors are open, you're going to get breached. And it could be a critical flaw or critical problem. So go to www.SCADAfence.com and check out his solution today. And then come back next time for an exciting episode of Cyber Defense TV. Thank you.